was unsure what I would ask you guys today, and I went to my blog because I thought it would be helpful to sort of crowdsource this. And a lot of people wanted to know from Chuck and Bill, who are some of your dream gets for guest stars?
Wow. Well,
like, I mean, you know, sky's the limit.
Very low down on the list was Wil Wheaton.
Do you think you'll ever actually get him?
remember that time you explained to me who he was?
People know this guy, I'm telling you.
I understand he's kind of a big deal.
Well, you know, I mean, we've been so fortunate in people that we've been able to meet. Stanley, who Chuck worked with, Chuck began writing at Marvel Productions and worked on, what shows did you work on there?
Oh, just move on.
Move on. Chuck is also the co-writer of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song. But we worked for Stanley there, and so we had Stan on. Katie Sackhoff was
the immortal Professor Smoot, the Nobel Prize
George
winner.
Smoot,
I'm sure that's got a lot to tune in.
Summer Glau. I mean, the only thing geekier than the characters of The Big Bang Theory are the writers of Big Bang Theory.
Here, here.
That wasn't necessary.
I'm sorry. I appreciate it. It's giving me work.
Who's coming?
Oh, who's?
I think we're okay with it, right?
Are people booked?
I think it's okay.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah, we don't know either.
We want to know.
Yeah, please.
I think we got Steve Wozniak.
Steve Wozniak is here. And we are talking to some other cool people who I guess we can't say until they're booked. But the thing is that we never say who would be a stunt cast that, for the sake of stunt casting. We think they're people we think are cool and we're fans of, and so that's who we go for.
You talked about some of the big nerds, right? Like getting the physics professor and some people like that. And I had a really interesting conversation with Steve Milaro about the wonderful creative tension in the writers' room between the nerds and the normals. And I observed between the nerds and the normals.
Oh,
and
there's no comedy room with normals.
well, relative to nerds, I guess. And I observed when I was on the set that there's this great, it's almost like playing comedy operation, where you pluck a joke out of the little board there without making the guy's nose light up and kill everything. And it makes the show really accessible to people like me and people like my wife who are just nerd adjacent. And
by definition, she's always nerd adjacent.
She is always nerd adjacent, that's right. And I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about that creative tension. And a guy on my blog really wanted to know how challenging it was to sell the idea of this show that is about geeks doing geeky things to a network that may have been a little bit nervous about thinking, gosh, is that audience going to actually be there for this show?
Well, first of all,
let's introduce
Steve.
Where's Steve? And Lee Aronson, too. There's a couple of great writers.
Stand up. Stand up. Executive producer of the show, and Steve Milaro, whose willingness to share the details from his very, very sad geeky childhood on a regular basis are part of what you watch every week. There was never a discussion that I recall, I'll turn it to you, Chuck, about the show being too geeky or anything like that with CBS.
No, CBS was, they got it right away. They've been very supportive. And I'm not known for being really appreciative of CBS and network executives, but they've been terrific.
Some of my favorite jokes on the show are like Homo habilis discovering his opposable thumb says what, and spherical chicken in a vacuum. And are these things that you ever worry? Like, do you have to go and explain to people like this is why that's funny? Well, listen, I hope the network executives won't listen, but the average nerd is a little bit more tuned into these things than executives are.
We presume an intelligent audience, so it's not, you just start out from that. And then let the chips fall.
I also asked on Twitter if people had any questions, and someone on Twitter called Kunal Nayar wanted to know, did you cast Kunal Nayar because of his good looks or because of his talent?
How many lines did you have in the pilot, Kunal?
I did this. And said smooth. So, it's probably because of my good looks.
He's clearly a brilliant comic actor. We were very fortunate to find him.
Simon, speaking of comedic actors, you have a great deal of improv and sketch comedy experience, both live in the theater and also on television. And
you guys like television? Television got a round of applause.
And all of you are really terrific comedic actors. And I wondered, Simon, with improv experience, do you get to play on the set the same way that you would get to play in an improv show? Do you get to bring some of your own ideas? And if you don't, do you miss that?
Well, I write all my own lines. It's just sort of, there's usually a to-be-determined section whenever I speak. I have to be really schooled in physics, so it works out well. No, I trust the writers, these writers, all the writers on our show, and the actors so much. You know, I don't ever see any need to, you know, to do anything, to tweak anything. And you know, if we have ideas, I mean, we can all talk, but it's on the page, and yeah, it's you know, this is a different medium. I think it's very structured, and so no, I don't miss it because I'm never left out with my pants down, which would be funny. I think I pitched that, but no, you know, so I can't get my pants off, the ones they put on the show. So yeah, it's an amazing group. Yeah.
A lot of readers on my blog wanted to know what the deal is with Howard's alien pin.
I think it's top secret. I'm not, it's kind of this, it's a mystery. And when I say that it's top secret, it kind of means that I don't even know. But the Mary Quigley is our brilliant wardrobe person, and it was an idea she had. And I don't know, maybe he was abducted, and that was it is on everything, and he's always the turtleneck. I think there might be some neck scarring that he's hiding, some facelifts. Howard is 109.
Kaylee, you play the least geekiest character on the show. Did I say least geekiest? My English is
Even I know that's wrong English.
You play the least geeky character on the show.
Even I knew that was wrong.
But
Wrong English.
but I think you might be the geekiest actor on the set.
Tell me why, Wil WHHHHHEEEEEEATOOOOON.
No, because you and I have had...
Be careful, Wil WHHHHHHEEEEEATOOOOON. Watch yourself.
Expose her.
Go ahead, tell me. What do you want to say? Go ahead.
We just had these wonderful conversations about Harry Potter and how you went to wear the sorting hat and didn't get into the house that you wanted to get into. And
Okay, I admit it.
Yeah.
When Wil WHHHHHHEEEEEATOOOOON was first on our show, I had just started. I know this is very late.
Latecomer.
I was a latecomer.
Better late than never.
Yeah. I was just reading the first Harry Potter book. And Wil WHHHHHHEEEEEATOOOOON, who I didn't really know who he was. Everyone's like, Wil WHHHHHHEEEEEATOOOOOON.
he's kind of a big deal.
I know, I was like, Wheaties, I don't know. So anyway, see, I can play too. Anyway, I was reading Harry Potter, and he was very excited for me, and I was very excited for myself. It was an amazing book. And he decided to accompany me. We went on a field trip. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
You did come, right? You were there?
I was actually on my way out of the stage at the time you were on your way out of the stage, and I think we actually went separate ways.
Okay, well, anyway.
It was quite a journey.
Yes, I went to get my hat, the sorting hat, sorted on me at the place. And It was awesome.
This is an occupational perk. There's like, because we're working on the Warner Brothers
Yes.
plot, there's like all this Harry Potter
There's
stuff.
a museum.
There's a museum. You should
There's a museum.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
There's not an actual sorting hat.
Oh no, no.
It's not real.
Well, when we go to set, they sort us, but it's fine. But
There's
no,
a museum on the lot.
there's a museum in the lot of all the Harry Potter stuff, and so I was really into Harry Potter, which I still am. And I know. So we went and got sorted, and it was awesome. But
What house were you in?
I was not a Slytherin.
I seem to recall that you actually were Slytherin.
I was not a Slytherin. You know, I think maybe I was.
You were Slytherin. When I came back for the Wheaton recurrence, you were reading books on your Kindle. You were
Yes.
very upset that your Kindle had broken. We all teased you about that.
That's right.
Right? I just wondered how being on this show, being around these people, being around these writers, being around these themes, how that has helped you get in touch with your inner geek.
Oh, it has. I thought I was kind of the first person with the Kindle.
You
People
were on
were
the
jealous of me. Yeah.
Cast early adopter.
Huh?
You were a cast early adopter.
Yes, it was awesome. No, I love nerdy stuff. I like gadgets, and we're all very gadget-based with the stuff and the phones and the Kindles and, so I like to read. I do like to read Harry Potter. I'm obsessed with him. I can't wait till the next